I'd like to call the April 17th, 2023 Common Council meeting to order. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilwoman West.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Deputy Clerk Treasurer Knoll.
Councilman Frankie.
Present.
Councilwoman Ficus.
Present.
Councilman Vincent.
Here.
Councilman Galloway.
Here.
Councilwoman Cutler.
Present.
Councilwoman West.
Here.
And Councilwoman Konechny.
Present.
All present.
Approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. So we do have one item we'll be adding to the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve an amended agenda? And Attorney Otis, once we have that motion in a second, we'll explain what we're adding.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Attorney Otis?
Thank you. Mayor, this was a mistake on my end. I forgot to get this on the agenda. This is a resolution to approve a purchase of a parcel on Torino Drive. At the time that this comes up, I'm sure Mr. Jackson can explain this as well. Board of Works has already approved it, the purchase, but we need a resolution as well from the council.
I do have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Before we take comments from the citizens, I would like to bring forward Chief Breton. We have a couple of announcements to make as our focus on fire and police continue. We're excited to have HR Director Andrea Smith as well.
Hi, Andrea. Good evening.
We've been talking about the mental health position for quite a while, and Andrea did an excellent job of bringing us several applicants, and we settled on Caitlin Kalisic, who is outstanding. She started today. She's here. She's very excited to speak. She's just telling us, Andrea.
Yes, right. She couldn't wait to come to the microphone.
So Caitlin, we're going to call you up, and you can.
And Chief, if you could tell, before Caitlin gets here, just a little bit about her position and how it's being funded.
Through HealthLink, and then the city's picking up the benefits package. We put her to work right away today. We think she likes us. She's still with us. Learning program, she meets with Valpo tomorrow, that's had the program for several years. So she came to us with a whole list of what her plans were, and you're really gonna like her to hear what she has to say.
But calls for service, sometimes for overdoses,
We
for
had one today, so we activate her right away.
Oh, my gosh.
mental health issues. Come forward. We're excited to have you. Welcome, Caitlin.
Thank you. I'm really excited. I'm super honored to be a part of this program. Besides being a therapist in the trauma world, that's my #1 dream job. My other dream job is to be in crisis intervention. I've always been interested in working with the police departments, working with military. I am a Marine Corps veteran as well, so I do have some experience, but I obviously can't relate police work and military too much because they do have similarities and differences. So I'm really excited to be here. And yeah, today is day one, but we've got a lot of days ahead of us to make some really important changes in the community.
Welcome.
Questions?
No, sounds like you hit the ground running. Welcome.
Thanks.
We're excited to have you. We wish you luck, and we'll be keeping close tabs because this is an issue that I think we've been lacking, and appreciate Chief Breton, HR Director Smith for thinking outside the box and actually having this position funded by another organization. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we're not finished.
Just a quick hats off to HealthLink. They have been a phenomenal partner with us. So again, they took that whole salary and funded it for us, and we only had to come up with the benefit portion. So that, again, hats off to Steve and Beth Roble. They've been amazing to work with.
If you haven't had an opportunity to tour their facility, work with them, they're a great partner, and we see only future opportunities partnering in the short term here. So, Chief?
She just told me she's a Packers fan too, so we do have that.
Oh, jeez.
Andrew, you can disappear. The second thing we talked about was getting more officers on the street, and more departments are going to civilian-based evidence collection, evidence management, and the person that we had in mind right away, Andrea, both of us knew him. I've worked with him with Michigan City. I'll have him explain how many years he did with Michigan City. He retired from Michigan City Police Department. So we're honored to have him, Tony McClintock, and I'm going to call him on up and tell a little bit about himself. He'll take over all our evidence starting May 3rd if this passes through the council.
And this will allow officers to get out on the street instead of in the evidence room.
Right, which we currently have full-time officers spends his time
And
with
this is a
evidence.
civilian position as well.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Tony, welcome. We're excited as well to have you as a part of our team.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here and very excited to be part of this team. My goal is to get the police officers back on the streets, and focusing more on their investigations. Being an active part of that resource to assist anywhere I can be of help. I come from the Michigan City Police Department where I retired, so I've got 25 years of experience with extensive crime scene investigation, fire investigations, property and management, the holding areas. So I come with a lot of experience, and I want to thank Chief Britton for recognizing the importance of a role like this for a civilian and for Andrea Smith of understanding that as well and making this come to fruition. Like I said, very excited to be here, and I want to do everything I can to help LaPorte become one of the premier law enforcement agencies in Northwest Indiana. So I'm very, very happy to be here.
And I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear, where did you come from?
Yeah, so the other side of the county, but the Michigan City Police Department. But yeah, I retired there after 25 years of service.
Wonderful, thank you.
Questions? Welcome
glad to
aboard.
have you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Very excited to be here.
And Tony, just one other thing. So you've seen what we do in the city of LaPorte here in the police department. This is literally, you've seen with all that they do up there, this is a full-time job that'll
Absolutely.
evidence.
Yeah, when I was an investigator at Michigan City Police, this is a position that I wish that had been established there then, because there's such an amount of work that comes with this position, and this will alleviate a lot of the work for the police officers.
That's wonderful.
Does it make it easier for the prosecutors in terms of managing the evidence,
Absolutely.
chain of custody, that type of thing?
Absolutely. This resource will be able for the prosecutors to contact me directly if they need things for their cases and things that they may be missing that they need to progress with their cases. So I'll be the point of contact for that.
And maybe even, and something Chief wants to get done, and we've talked to officers about improving the paperwork process and eliminating some of the paperwork that's necessary so we can keep our officers on the road.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Thank you very
Great
much.
to have you. And don't feel pressure. You can leave right now, both of you, and all of you can enjoy your night if you like.
Do have something on the police. Real quick, Mayor, I was in a meeting totally unrelated to the city last week with a head of HR here at a company in LaPorte who did an active shooter training with the LaPorte Police Department. It was very complimentary of all the knowledge that the police department had, and they felt a lot better after doing that, and were very complimentary. I didn't even know that was something our police department did, so I just wanted to make sure the council was aware of that. They were very happy with it.
They are out there quite a bit doing those, and they're fantastic, especially in this day and age, so. All right, we'll move forward to comments from the public. Sierra Sue Jesh, please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Thank you. My name is Sierra Sue Jesh, and I live on Jefferson Avenue, and I want to speak on the transport today. A couple of weeks ago, I walked to the hospital with my youngest son to have some outpatient surgery. Now, the hospital has a policy that you can't walk home after a procedure. So Keith called the transport for us, and I want to say that the time wait was very short. The driver was very, very polite, friendly, talked with us and that, and had an enjoyable trip home. So I want to thank the transport is doing a great job. I may only use them once every 4 or 5 years, but they're there when I need them. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Very nice to hear. Scott, can you please come forward, state your name and address for the record?
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Scott Boschman. I'm speaking for my wife, Freckle from Freckle Farm Primitive Antiques.
Which we love that we have you as a part of the team downtown. And just as a reminder, we have a 3-minute cap on statements.
So it's on 522 Lincoln Way and then a 700 block of Clay Street. I know we talked about this before, but tonight I brought pictures. I hope I hope I brought enough. I brought 10. So if I could just go through the pictures, I'll try to go fast and you tell me to slow down if you need me to. Freckle Farm there's a picture of the building if you haven't seen it. It's right on Clay and Lincoln Way. It's an antique store, bringing all kinds of antiques, from small antiques to very large, extra large even. I mean, we're talking 8-foot cabinets, 9-foot cabinets, very huge. And you can see some pictures of the truckloads that come in and out. My wife is a single owner and she does this. Don't ask me how, because it's very difficult. Ideally, unloading and unloading would be done as close to the building as possible and then through the back door. Because up near Lincoln Way is very difficult and very challenging if anybody's been on Lincoln Way trying to unload at all. So there is a door in the back on the corner of Clay and the alley, but it's on Clay Street. And if you see like this red vehicle that's parked here on picture number 5, that's not in front of the door. To me, that's off to the side a little bit. So you could get out of your trailer and go straight into the doors. If my wife was pulling up in her truck, right next to the door, she'd be able to unload right from the door, right inside the building. So what we're proposing and asking for is a loading zone. I probably missed that in the beginning, but the loading zone on a parking spot there. If you can see this light pole is right in the middle of the sidewalk. That gives you about 3 feet from the building and another foot from the road, and then you walk into a pole. Picture number 7 shows a pickup truck picking up goods and dropping off goods. There are people that sell to my wife and pick up goods at the same time. So using that door coming in and out, if it's accessible, is nice. And then we had them park in the alley because that spot was blocked this weekend, and I just took a picture of it, luckily. Number 8, showing the door and right from the car. I'm showing her truck there, but if this was a vehicle there, somebody else's vehicle, this is extremely hazardous for their vehicle. I mean, you're trying to move a cabinet, trying to get up this huge dock area. You can see it's probably 10 inches tall or more, almost a foot tall, and not hit somebody else's car. So it's really difficult to maneuver and not get hurt, because some of these things weigh 100 pounds or 150 pounds. You can see if we were unloading a trailer, a car was blocking the dock door on picture number 9, and so we had to kind of maneuver around to get in and out of the dock. That was very difficult. There are cars that park there for long periods of time, which I'm not going to get into that part. That's another subject. Okay? But the other option is picture number 10.
And you've got 30 seconds.
Okay, park across the street and then drag furniture and stuff across Clay Street, which is very difficult and very dangerous, so we don't do that unless absolutely necessary, and usually small stuff. So the proposal from us, or the request from us, is to be able to have a loading zone in that parking spot for that building. Are there questions that we could answer?
Questions? I know this will be a table topic, I believe.
Questions
Yes.
came up a few weeks ago, and I think I could answer some of those. I wrote a bunch of scenarios down, and I don't know if there's anything.
The reason we want to table tonight, and we, as the mayor said, appreciate you guys taking a chance downtown, and we love it. But I used to work on that same block for the last 3 years, and I know most of the business owners around there, and I've talked to several of them, and I think there's a good compromise that we can come up with, you know, if it's looking at a 15 or 30-minute loading zone, but then still having use more so after hours for restaurants there, or if you wanted to run into Hotspot Cafe quick and grab a coffee or something and run out, great, but that way, you know, it's designated that way, and people should know to not park there for too long. But some of the things I've heard from other businesses, there is that concern with just the limited amount of parking as there is, you know, within that area. To totally remove it could be detrimental to them. I understand it's a pain for unloading, I get it, but I think that could be a good compromise.
Well, I stopped down and talked to both of them, and, you know, Scott brought up a good point. His truck is going to be parked there no matter what, right? So I'm saying he's already taken up a parking spot anyway, whether it be on that side or the other side as well. So,
If there was a loading zone and you're not parked in the loading zone, now you're taking up 2 spots, so I can see that. And we try to park away from the building so customers can park there.
Sure.
Or use the spot if necessary.
And the city's done a terrible, well, they've done no job at parking enforcement over the past couple of years, but that's also something that is going to, it's going to change very soon. And so, you know, once there's enforcement, I know from working there, you know, and I was guilty of it, sometimes leaving my car there for more than 2 hours. You see it all over. But once there is enforcement again, I think that'll alleviate
Our part
things.
is you're inside working, because she's a one-man show, one-woman show, I should say. And she's inside working with a cash register and a big
Right.
store, and bigger than she's ever been used to. It's double the size. And the people are just constant, thank God. It's fantastic, constant, coming in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
She can't really go move her car. This is another conversation, going out and trying to move your car and not having a place to put it. She even comes with a full truckload of stuff and she has to unload. But she also has to open the store and get it running, and people are coming in and out and trying to sell her stuff. And I mean, it's like a constant, nonstop thing, which is fantastic.
Right.
But way bigger than we thought it was. And that spot alone is just a real hindrance. Having to move your car is going to be another problem.
Well, and the good news is you have Mr. Frankie, who is a downtown business, you have Ms. Cutler that's dealt with this as a downtown business, so I think it sounds like you'll be able to come together. Are there other comments?
Well, I mean, the alley is, I know, again, you've got to wind that corner and that pole is there, but it is, you know, another place to utilize for loading. Again, not ideal, but
I think it's the
It's-
only business, and I'm going to clarify that, one of the only, if not the only one, that doesn't have a back door to it, because it was split in half. There is a back door, but it's not to that half of the building, it's to the other half. So our back door is on the Clay Street side, which has this big pole in the way, and sometimes a car right there.
yeah. I will,
It's really difficult with the type of furniture moving in and out. It's very difficult to get around some of those vehicles, and waiting and just the right time to be able to go out and do it is difficult. You go out and all of a sudden that car is moving, another car pulled in.
Sure.
Because it's constant traffic in there.
So is
So,
further comments?
I just,
I mean, it's a tough situation, no doubt.
sorry.
I don't know, I just don't want to, I wouldn't want to make any
we
rational
are-
decisions without
President
considering
Frankie,
it.
you're going to table this then? Or?
Actually,
or-
when it comes up. We're still
Okay.
When you call my name, Mayor, I'll table it.
I think Councilwoman West has something to add.
Well, and I understand other business owners have concerns as well, but as Chief Snyder said the last time we were at council, this is a unique situation too, and I think that's very important that we take that into account as well, because we want our businesses to thrive and help them as much as we possibly can.
Absolutely. And I
So-
think that's why we want to
That's why,
help you.
yeah.
And I think we just want a little more time to kind of work through the options and do what's best for everyone.
sure, and I just
So
wanted to
that's-
present
that's the
the
only
best
reason it would be
good
tabled.
Yep,
information.
thank you.
So I do appreciate your
that.
time. And thank you.
Any other comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
Standing committee reports. President Frankie.
1 second, please. The Sustainability Committee met briefly last week. On Wednesday, there was not a quorum, but the point was to have a Arbor Day proclamation done, which is now completed and being approved with electronic voting. The actual meeting for their monthly meeting will be Monday, the 24th, here in council chambers at 4 p.m. Redevelopment Commission will meet next Wednesday, the 26th, 5:15 p.m. here in the chambers as well. And that's all I have.
Councilwoman Ficus.
Park Board will be meeting this Wednesday, 4 p.m. at the Park Office, and then with the primary being Tuesday, May 4th, next month, Traffic Commission has been moved to May 9th, the following week, 5 p.m. at the police station.
Councilman Vincent.
Nothing to add this evening.
Councilman Galloway.
Your Honor, the Mayor's Veterans Committee met last Monday, and they elected Darrell Cavan as chairperson and Barb Cavan as the secretary. The walkway dedication with the bricks will be June 3rd at 2 o'clock. It'll be the 24th year. And Veterans Day will be Friday, November 10th. And the next meeting will be at May 8th, 5 o'clock. And the Police Merit Commission met. Now, this is a letter of commendation to Special Zachary Fellmeyer. This letter of accommodation is being issued as a result of your exceptional work performance over the past 3 months, resulting in 4 drug-related arrests, of which 2 were felony apprehensions. These arrests involved charges for drug possession and drug dealing, manufacturing, along with the seizure of narcotics, weapons, ammunition, and cash. In 2 of these cases, arrestees were found to be wanted on warrants for existing felony drug charges. And the man has not been on our police department very long. He's doing a great job, and he starts K-9 training for our 4th dog coming
That's
up.
Chief, thank you. I think the public needs to hear that. We will, and I know everybody believes there's no way to do it, we will eliminate drugs in the community of LaPorte. I mean, we will do that, and thank you for your team's efforts.
We would have had him come tonight, but he's currently in Michigan training with the K-9 partner.
Thank you for sharing that, Councilman. Councilwoman Cutler.
At the April meeting of the bid board, City Planner Craig Phillips requested an emergency approval for funds for the repair of a sidewalk reported by Dean White on Monroe Street near the Four Seasons Restaurant. It was approved by the board, and Paul's Construction will move forward with the repair. Also discussed was the misuse of downtown planters, trees, tree wells, and light posts for personal business signage, flags, or advertising. Putting items in the planters can damage the irrigation system as well as the plants. Any special requests, such as the recent blue bows on the light post for Child Abuse Awareness Month, are requested and approved by the bid board prior to installation by the street department. The next meeting of the bid board will be Monday, May 8th at 5 p.m. at City Hall. And the Alcohol Beverage Review Commission met on April 6th to review an application from the business owners of Royale with Cheese, a new restaurant opening in LaPorte on Michigan Avenue. This location is their second location, and their first is located in Michigan City and operates with a liquor license there. The board approved the recommendation, and you'll see it on tonight's agenda. And the UEA will meet Wednesday, April 19th at 4 p.m. at the LEAP offices.
Councilwoman West.
Reporting on the Fire Merit Commission, Chief Andy Snyder reported that Camera Watt, Patrick Roy, and Brandon Young were hired and are going through orientation. And he also reported that the testing company ESCI has confirmed they will do the promotional testing, and they now have a contract. And the promotional dates will be May 8th and 9th for the mechanic, fire inspector, and training chief, May 15th and 16th for the captain and battalion chief. And he is very happy to say they're at full staff. And the next meeting will be Wednesday, May 3rd at Fire Station 1 at 6 p.m.
Councilwoman Konechny.
The HPC will meet tomorrow here in council chambers at 5:30, and the Airport Authority. Registration is now open for the 2023 Aviation Camp. The camp is open to 6th through 12th graders. It will be held June 12th through the 16th. Please visit the airport's website at laporteairport.com for more information or to register. But hurry fast, spots are filling up. The LaPorte Airport will kick off the 2023 season of Lunch on the Fly beginning this month on April 28th. Lunch on the Fly is open to the public. Enjoy lunch with fellow aviation enthusiasts. The LaPorte Airport hosts Lunch on the Fly on every fourth Friday of the month from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Lunch on the Fly season spans from April through October. The airport's next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, May 10th at 5:15 at the airport.
Councilman Galloway.
Your Honor, I was gonna read this for the second and final time, but I'd like to table this ordinance.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to table. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to table approved. Councilman Frankie.
Your Honor, I move to read an ordinance for the second and final time by title only.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Councilman Frankie.
An ordinance establishing a restricted parking area on the east and south side of Stanley Court. That's it.
So I do have a motion. Would
Okay. This is-
Councilwoman Ficus like to expand?
Yeah, just like Chief Snyder had said at the last meeting, it's just on the curve there, when there's cars parked there, emergency vehicles can't get down, the school bus can't get down, so the school bus sometimes doesn't even go down Stanley Court. So it's just so that we can get vehicles through there
And again,
safely.
Stanley Court is
Over
where?
by Howman School.
Howman.
East Jefferson, Philadelphia, right?
Discussion?
Sounds reasonable.
I do have a motion and a second. Further comment? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Councilwoman West, second and final reading.
Your Honor, I move to read an ordinance for the second time by title only.
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion? Can you expand?
And an ordinance.
Wait, I'm sorry. I apologize. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Councilwoman West.
An ordinance establishing a stop sign on 15th Street at its intersection with D Street. End of ordinance.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilwoman West or Councilwoman Ficus?
It's just a T intersection, and there's no stop signs whatsoever, so we just need to place one. It's just a safety issue.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Councilwoman Cutler.
Your Honor, I move to introduce an ordinance read for the second time by title only.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? This is the one for Eason Court, correct?
Yep.
Which one, the Eason? The second reading, why did?
This is the one that Mike Frey's wanted. Everyone, Mike Frey's, Mike Frey's.
I apologize.
This is the one, I think.
Oh, okay.
He was gonna get it.
Correct.
Yeah. Councilwoman Cutler.
An ordinance establishing a stop sign on Eason Court at its intersection with East 9th Street.
So I do have a motion.
Second.
Discussion?
This is actually the same as the other one. It's a T intersection with no stop signs.
Further discussion?
Yeah, is this the intersection where Mike Frey's almost got hit or something when he was working? Is
No,
this
he
the
was,
one?
no, he was the one that brought it to
Oh,
Traffic
okay.
Commission.
That's what I thought. Our street department. It was dangerous
There-
for our street department.
We don't know how long these, or why these went so long without stop signs, so.
There's quite a few of them, but the stop sign, adding it sometimes causes further problems than.
Right.
Yeah.
But these
But
are
I
necessary.
do have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Councilwoman Konechny.
Your Honor, I'd like to introduce an ordinance read in its entirety for the first time.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Councilwoman Konechny.
An ordinance establishing a no parking zone on both sides of 8th Street between C Street and E Street. Whereas the Traffic Commission, after due consideration, has recommended to the Common Council of the City of LaPorte that no parking zone should be created on both sides of 8th Street between C Street and E Street. Now, therefore, be it and is hereby ordained by the Common Council of the City of LaPorte, Indiana, that Section 1, a no parking zone shall be created on both sides of 8th Street between C Street and E Street. Section 2, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect upon its passage, approval by the mayor, and publication as required by law.
Councilwoman Ficus.
Well, there's already no parking on various sides of the street. It's right by Kiwanis. Actually, Dave Heinold, it's his
David,
project.
could you
So
come
if,
forward,
I don't know if he
please?
wants to come and expand on it.
State your name.
He brought it to Traffic Commission for the slicer pathway and everything. It's,
And title for the record.
Camera, right. David Heinold, Assistant City Planner, ADA Coordinator for the City of Port. So basically, yes, as Councilman Ficus mentioned, on 8th Street, there's already a significant portion of that street that is, it's 20 feet wide. There's not really any parking on that street as it is. So a lot of 8th Street would just be like a sidewalk from where there are no sidewalks currently within the right-of-way, which would provide a critical connection between A and F Street to the high school, so.
Is this the road directly north of Kiwanis?
Yeah, just north of the stadium.
Okay. Further questions?
And that is where sidewalks are going?
Between E and F, there's a portion where it doesn't have sidewalk, that there was a ramp put in for a crosswalk to get across to the high school on the south side of the intersection there. So it would connect the existing sidewalks where the stadium is. That one's already there. And so there would be an additional one from C to A added to connect all the way down and around the cemetery.
Further questions? Hearing none, we will move this to the first meeting in May. Thank you, David.
you could probably just stay up here.
I'm amazed how much work Traffic Commission continues to do
We're
here.
popular lately.
Councilman Vincent.
Honorable Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to, for an ordinance read for its first time in its entirety this evening.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Councilman Vincent.
An ordinance establishing a no parking zone on both sides of A Street from 14th Street to 18th Street. Whereas the Traffic Commission, after due consideration, has recommended to the Common Council of the City of LaPorte that a no parking zone should be created on both sides of A Street from 14th Street to 18th Street. Now therefore, be it and is hereby ordained by the Common Council of the City of LaPorte, Indiana, that Section 1, a no parking zone shall be created on both sides of A Street from 14th Street to 18th Street. Section 2, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect upon its passage, approval by the mayor, and publication as required by law.
Councilwoman Ficus.
We can have David just stay up here for the next couple of ordinances if he wants. This is his baby.
No parking zone.
David Heinold, Assistant City Planner, ADA Coordinator for City of Port. So 14th to 18th Street, as Councilman Vincent mentioned, no parking on both sides. So this street is a unique one because as it is today, it's 28 feet wide. But on the west side of A Street, there's kind of like it's almost like kind of like a quasi like parking area, I think, for some of the residents there. But there's actually a 14-foot wide utility easement because there's a very large NIPSCO line that runs down the west side of A Street. So down at 14th and A Street, there's like a curb inlet. So this no parking ordinance would allow the installation of a two-way trail facility with a 4-foot separation and 2 travel lanes lining it up with the rest of A Street, going north and south. So it'll help maintain traffic a little bit better on this stretch, busy stretch of road. Add parking lane lines to help slow down traffic in a busy stretch of road where there's a high level of pedestrian activity and people out riding their bikes. So this would add that trail facility, similar to kind of what you see on 18th Street.
Is 14th, if you turned right, would take you to Clark Field?
Yes,
further
yeah.
north?
14th is the connection directly one block to Clark Park.
Because there are cars that park along A Street between 14th and 18th.
Yes, yeah.
Has someone come to complain about that, or are we doing this proactively for?
So you're mentioning on 14th Street between?
I'm
like,
saying
main-
on A Street,
Yeah.
between 14th and A, there are cars that every day are parking, and
This is in order
So
to
north is where
hit the
you,
trail.
On the hill.
where you see people parking. Yeah, this is more so by the hill.
Yeah, this is the hill
okay.
section and up on the flat.
So will they no longer be able to park there?
Correct.
Okay.
And would it be okay if I shared all the literature that you brought to Traffic Commission with everyone so they could kind of see the pictures that you gave? I'll get that out to everyone after the meeting, okay? So you guys can kind of see, because David went out and took pictures, and then there's explanations with it too that'll make it a little more clear.
And if it helps, I mean, we can give a full presentation. There's no secret on this. It's a good project to embark on. This is a certainly stepping stone to get to the implementation of that.
I think it's important that the individuals that have parked there and parked there for years are notified ahead of even a second reading, so there only can be 2 or 3, and I look at Councilwoman Kneždy, you travel the same road, is to make sure that
Yep.
they're aware ahead of time. Further discussion? This will then move to the first meeting in May, and Mr. Heinold, if you'd like to stay. Councilwoman Ficus.
Your Honor, I move to introduce an ordinance read for the first time in its entirety.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Councilwoman Ficus.
An ordinance establishing a no parking zone on the west side of A Street from 10th Street to 14th Street. Whereas the Traffic Commission, after due consideration, has recommended to the Common Council of the City of LaPorte that a no parking zone be created on the west side of A Street from 10th Street to 14th Street. Now therefore be it, and it is hereby ordained by the Common Council of the City of LaPorte, Indiana, that Section 1, a no parking zone shall be created on the west side of A Street from 10th Street to 14th Street. Section 2, this ordinance shall be in full force and effective upon its passage, approval by the mayor, and publication is required by law. End of ordinance.
Discussion, and again, if I'm looking at this, there are cars that have parked on the west side from 10th to 14th, and I would ask that they're contacted.
They'll be
before-
contacted, but typically they're parked on the east side, where that truck is and a trailer quite often. That would be the east side.
But then there's also 2 cars parked on that side, but just make sure. Either way,
Absolutely.
I think someone needs to be contacted before. And the chief is supportive of this, and both chiefs, actually. Further discussion?
Am I understanding this right, that this is all being done for the new trail?
Yes, this will be done as part of, so between 10th and 14th Street, because of the limited space and keeping the parking on the east side, we'll actually be adding protected parking with painted lines at the intersections to allow protection for the people that do park on the east side and giving them an opportunity. And then the other side, on the west side, would become a 5-foot like shared use bicycle lane, pedestrian lane too, because there's no sidewalk on that side. It'd just be one way because of the direction. And it'll directly connect with the sidewalk that'll go around the cemetery, and then connect with the high school. So it's a direct connection. Add crosswalks to get across 10th and A Street where there are none. Add extra pedestrian crossings to the school for Handley, and the high school, and the Kessling campus as well is off in the distance there. So it adds that level of protection, adding signage for the school zone crossings and all of that to make it a lot safer.
Further discussion?
No, but I will say thanks for heading that. I think it's great connecting the high school and the middle school that way.
And trust me, Mr. Heinhold is checking it all out. If you don't see him on the weekend riding around in
Yeah,
the
not
city of
driving.
Port, you haven't been out, so thank you for all your work. So that will move to the first meeting in May. Thank you. Councilwoman Konechny.
I'd like to introduce an ordinance read for the first time in its entirety.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Councilwoman Konechny.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 25-2022 to amend salaries in the police department. Now, therefore, be it, and it is hereby ordained by the Common Council of the City of LaPorte, Indiana, that Section 1, Ordinance number 25-2022 of the City of LaPorte, Indiana, adopted by the Common Council on October 17th, 2022, is hereby amended to add the following positions: Police Department, Civil Police, Evidence Technician, $40,000. Section 2, in all other regards, ordinance number 25-2022 shall be unchanged. Section 3, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect upon its passage, approval by the mayor, and publication as required by law.
Discussion?
This would be pertaining to the civilian officer that'll be acting as a evidence tech moving forward. Chief, do you have anything else to add?
Just, this is coming out of my budget, there's no extra money.
Chief, do you see this at a lot of departments, that they're getting a dedicated evidence tech?
Yes, in fact, we beat Michigan City to it. Chief Forker knows who we were going after, and he was quite disappointed.
I mean, that is an excellent hire, and there's other opportunities where we can put a civilian in.
Yes, we have another one in mind, so. Boots on the ground, that's what we figured.
How does that work then from a case, officer has a piece of evidence, they bring it to Mr. McClintock then? Is that how that works?
Yes, and
Okay.
he'll coordinate with the prosecutor. Nothing goes to the lab until there's a court date set. Once that court date's set, then he'll prep all that, he'll take it down. He'll do all our body cams, which is taking another half detective to do. He'll do all that. That way that what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the detective that's working at now, he'll work full-time cases.
Do we maintain the evidence at our department?
Yes. Yeah. That's why we're running out of room.
And with body cams as well, correct?
Yes.
That's it.
He'll do all the body cams, all the requirements for that. He'll train the new officers for packaging, collecting, and he's willing to work with any detectives on a major scene to come out. He's got a wealth of knowledge.
Further discussion? We will now move this ordinance to the first meeting in May. Council President Frankie.
Your Honor, I move to read a resolution in its entirety for the first and only time.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Councilman Frankie.
Resolution of the Common Council of LaPorte, Indiana, approving application for a municipal riverfront alcohol permit filed by Francisco Marufo of Maple and Rye LLC, whereas Indiana Code Section 7.1-3-20 authorizes the legislative body of a city or town within the state of Indiana to designate and establish the boundaries of a municipal riverfront development project within its territorial boundaries, and whereas Section 16 of the Act allows the Indiana Alcohol and Tobacco Commission to issue a three-way, two-way, or one-way non-transferable permit to sell alcoholic beverages for on-premises consumption only to an applicant who is the proprietor as owner or leasee or both of a restaurant within a municipal riverfront development project funded in part with state and city money without regard to any permit quotas as required by Indiana Code Section 7.1-3-22, all in furtherance of economic development, and whereas the city of LaPorte is carrying out redevelopment activities along Lily Lake Channel, which is located within a redevelopment area known as TIF 1, established by the LaPorte Redevelopment Commission Resolution 7-2019, under the authority provided in Indiana Code, Section 36-7-14. And whereas on August 28th, 2019, the LaPorte Redevelopment Commission adopted Resolution Number 7-2019, recommending the creation of a municipal riverfront development project to encourage economic growth and development in the project area, along with local rules governing the issuance and renewal of applications for any permit authorized pursuant to the terms of this resolution. And whereas the act authorizes the municipal riverfront development project to have boundaries of up to 3,000 feet or 6 city blocks from the waterway. And whereas the commission has determined that the boundaries of the municipal riverfront development project should be identified on Exhibit A, attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference. And whereas on November 1st, 2021, the Common Council adopted Resolution R-18-2021, whereby the Common Council designated the area identified on Exhibit A as a municipal riverfront development project pursuant to Indiana Code Sections 7.1-3-20-16 and 16.1. And whereas the Common Council thereafter established the LaPorte Alcoholic Beverage Review Committee to recommend to the Common Council and Mayor applications for alcohol permits that the LABRC will strengthen the economic vitality of the municipal riverfront district and entire community. And whereas the LABRC has indicated that it has received an application from Francisco Marufo of Maple and Rye LLC dated March 15th, 2023 for a 3-way riverfront alcohol permit for Maple and Rye LLC, DBA Royale with Cheese at 709 Michigan Ave, LaPorte, Indiana 46350, which the LABRC believes will strengthen the economic vitality of the municipal riverfront district and entire community. And whereas the LABRC has made a recommendation to the Common Council that the council approve the request of Francisco Marufo in the application, and that the mayor certify to the Indiana Alcohol and Tobacco Commission that Maple and Rye LLC, DBA Royale with Cheese has met the statutory requirements to obtain a retailer's alcoholic permit for beer, wine, and liquor pursuant to the City of LaPorte's Riverfront Development Ordinance. Now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of LaPorte that, number one, the request of Francisco Marufo on behalf of Maple and Rye LLC, DBA Royale with Cheese for a 3-way riverfront alcohol permit at 709 Michigan Ave, LaPorte, Indiana 46350 is hereby approved. Number two, the mayor shall certify to the Indiana Alcohol and Tobacco Commission that Francisco Marufo of Maple and Rye LLC, DBA Royale with Cheese has met the statutory requirements to obtain a retailer's alcohol permit for beer, wine, and liquor pursuant to the City of LaPorte's Riverfront Development Ordinance. Number three, Francisco Marufo, on behalf of Maple and Rye LLC, DBA Royale with Cheese, Inc., is hereby permitted to apply for a retailer's alcohol permit for beer, wine, and liquor with the Indiana Alcohol and Tobacco Commission under the City of LaPorte's Riverfront Development Ordinance. Number four, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after adoption. End of resolution.
Thank you. This is a resolution, can pass this evening. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Cook, could you please come forward? We've heard great things about Maple
Royale.
Royale with Cheese from Michigan City, so we're excited.
Yeah, good evening, Council. Bert Cook, Executive Director of the LaPorte Economic Advancement Partnership. I guess I'll save, we've done a number of these. You've heard the resolution multiple times about the Riverfront District and everything that goes along with that, so I'll save that part of it. I do have Frank Marufu and Michael Fuentes, that they're here, and they'll take a little time to tell you a little bit about the establishment. You can ask any questions, but a couple things that I wanted to mention before we do that. So this is the location that was formerly Maple and Rye, as the mayor led in with. We're very excited. Royale with Cheese is an established business in Michigan City that I think has a great track record there. And is well-known throughout LaPorte County. One of the things in their application that I picked up on, and I think this may be interesting for the general public, their liquor license there, the liquor sales makes up about 16% of their total revenue, right? Which is a very small portion, but we talk about how important it is to provide a competitive advantage for restaurants. It's a tough industry. We all know that pairing drinks with fine dining is something that's important, can set these restaurants apart and develop clientele for them. So utilizing the Riverfront District has been, I think, has been very successful for our community. We've got a number of new establishments in our downtown that we're very proud of, and I think this follows in that vein. So I'll maybe stop there and ask Frank to come up and tell you a little bit about what he has planned for the space.
Welcome, Frank.
Hi guys, how you doing? I'm sure many of you know me. I was the original founder of Mucho Mas here in LaPorte as well. I've been apart from that for a while. Like Bert said, I've been focusing on Royale with cheese. We have a really good track record in Michigan City. We actually took advantage of a similar program there with a Riverfront license. And as he said, we're not intending to become a bar. It is a small percentage of our gross sales, but it is definitely an advantage that we get. Since COVID, restaurants have struggled. If that's, I mean, even that's, yeah, it's been rough. So it does help restaurants. And I mean, I don't know, do you guys have any questions about anything?
I just have one. Did I butcher your last name? How do you pronounce
you
it?
did it perfect. Bert, on the other hand, over there.
Soft opening.
We're actually shooting to do a soft opening this week. And, you know, once it all irons out all those little quirks and stuff, we'll shoot for like a grand opening in about 2 weeks, I think.
That will be great for the summer.
Yeah, I think so.
Welcome,
We're excited
welcome
to-
back.
I know. I've been meaning to come back. Like I said, I've been away. I sold my share of Mucho a couple years ago, so I've been focused in Michigan City. But I've called LaPorte my home for over 15 years now. So it's exciting to have a business that I'm actually involved in the day-to-day operations in again. Because I was actually also part owner of Maple and Rye. I was a silent partner. Like I said, it's a rough industry to be in right now with food costs and labor costs. So that unfortunately didn't work out, but it opened the door to something that I can do as an actual operator.
Great.
Further questions? Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
do have a motion and a second for discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Comments from council?
And we need the,
No, Your Honor, I would like to introduce a resolution read for its entirety the first and only time.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Councilwoman Ficus.
A resolution by the City of LaPorte Common Council to purchase land from Michael Gans. Whereas Indiana Code Section 36-1-10.5-5 requires that the fiscal body of a political subdivision pass a resolution to the effect that it is interested in making a purchase of specified land, and whereas the City of LaPorte is interested in purchasing a parcel of land owned by Michael Gans on Torino Drive, LaPorte, being Lot 415 in Weldon's First Edition, parcel ID number 46-10-11-206-028.000-061, the property, as the property would benefit the city's wastewater department, and whereas the City of LaPorte desires to purchase the property from Michael Gans for $17,000 after 2 appraisals were completed and both appraised the parcel at $17,000, with the average of those 2 appraisals being $17,000. Now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of LaPorte, Indiana as follows. The Common Council of the City of LaPorte, the fiscal body, recommends the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of LaPorte, the purchasing agent, purchase the property for $17,000. End of resolution.
This can pass this evening. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Mr. Jackson, would you like to add?
This is part of the letters and numbers project.
Thank you.
We've got new stormwater being created from the sewer separation project with the letters and numbers. And of course, that water has to go somewhere.
Jerry.
So we're expanding the Torino Basin to have a home. We did a trade with the school system to acquire some land to the south of the existing basin, and that area will be dug out and create new volume to store stormwater. There isn't good access to that area to build it and then later to maintain it. On one side is a large farm field that we can't just come across. On the other, there's either homes or the other basin around it. So we need access to it both to build it, for the contractor to come in, and to maintain it in the future, to clean it out and maintain it. This lot would give us that access. All the other lots, I'm pretty sure every single one in that subdivision is sold. This one, it wasn't sold because it's rather low and needs several feet of fill before you could build in it, and even then you'd be building at the lowest spot in the neighborhood. So it's not a desirable lot. Probably doesn't, the purchase by the city probably doesn't stop someone from building a home there, or prevent someone from building a home there, because they probably wouldn't. So I'd recommend the council move forward.
And this will also address some flooding issues in the neighborhood.
I did mention that. To the south there, we've got a flooding problem in the next neighborhood. That's where that water would go.
On Fieldstone?
Yep.
So this is an important project with the letters and numbers, obviously the progress. You've seen what's happened in Monroe Manor. Letters and numbers can see the same opportunity to improve.
And they need to.
So Porte's a struggle to find places to put water because we don't have a stream. So these little pocket wetlands are where you wind up putting it.
So, Jerry, when you say you'll expand the storm basin, I mean, that just looks like a pond. Are you just going to dig that out further? Is that like?
There'll be a dike in between and an interconnecting pipe. And when the main pond, the existing pond gets higher, it'll come over and fill this area. In looking in the farther future, should we do more separation in that neighborhood, this lot could perhaps be a path to have a pump station to remove water out of that pond and pump it to a future outlet. So.
Further questions for Mr. Jackson?
Real quick procedurally, Board of Works has already given approval to purchase this. There were 2 appraisals done that came in at exactly $17,000 each, and that is because these parcels have all sold for that price on the private market. So that was what the 2 appraisers came back at. So this is both the Board of Works and the council have a role in purchasing property for cities. So this is your role here.
And I know Mr. Galloway, that's important to him to make sure it comes across the council's desk.
Yes, because we are elected, and that place is appointed, well, all but you. But, 2 or 3 are appointed, and we're elected, so.
And I think we're going to might close on this tomorrow or the next couple days. And Jerry is ready to roll on working on this and address those issues on those letter and number streets.
D&M's hired to do this part of the work in the Trino Basin, and HRP will do the work in the letters and number streets.
Further questions, comments? Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right.
Thanks for taking care of my oversight on that.
Absolutely. Any comments?
No,
while we
no
have you?
comment.
Councilwoman West, anything for tomorrow evening you'd like to announce? There will be a meeting downtown?
Yes, Small Business Roundtable will be meeting tomorrow at A Whole World of Good at 5 o'clock for our small businesses to come together. And Mandy Cricken will be introduced as taking over the, I don't want to say taking over. What's a better word for that? Beginning a new way that we're going to have our farmers market downtown in LaPorte. So all small businesses are welcome, and we hope to see everyone there. Have a great
And I also want to thank
discussion.
Charity Lasfa for being here again.
Absolutely.
The latest update on 39 North, we continue to individually meet with homeowners, businesses, whoever will meet with us. Signatures are moving along. I want to thank our entire team who's been working on that. And again, we've put a hard deadline of May 31st on that annexation process, that if 39 North Conservancy does not want to annex, then we will back off. But unfortunately, with the improvements, the $10 million worth of improvements or so that need to happen, that would fall potentially on the backs of homeowners. But I think we're in a good place, and I feel like the Conservancy is ready to sit down and continue to move forward in a positive manner and work together. And we're excited to see where that happens, because it's been 3 years. Any other questions, comments?
I do have another comment. The LaPorte Fire Department will be hosting their pancake breakfast. That'll be on Saturday, April 29th, from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. Tickets are $10, and children 4 and under eat for free. It helps out with a great scholarship cause, so the public is certainly welcome and encouraged to come.
Any other comments? Do I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.